Greetings, I'm Mike. This is another chapter of Transition. This is the morality introduction. I've said the problem I'm trying to approach is how to deal with a changing world. We need a new niche, a new ecology to survive in. The one we grew up in is gone. The one we're in now is transient. We need to adapt to a new ecology. We'll have to adapt genetically and behaviorally. The last chapter was about genetics. This is about morality. Because one of the marks of humans is we don't as much use instinct as we use learned survival strategies. These learned survival strategies are called moralities. The problem is that our moralities are based upon authority and precedence. They come from religion and history. They need to be based upon reason and understanding, or they won't be used, as we're seeing already, and they can't be defended if they aren't based upon something, a better foundation than because I said so. Now, what we have works pretty good, but the foundations are just not there. And the other problem is we need to be able to analyze details. Things that used to work good don't work now, and so we need to be able to see these details. Morality is a big topic. It basically covers everything we do. Our organization, our values, our families. But you've got to go pretty much to the bottom of this, the premises. And so the first thing to say is this is based upon a moral philosophy of survival in a biological sense. Long-term survival of the species. Now, you might think you could take that for granted, but it's not so, because there are other moralities. There's morality of wealth. Whatever makes you rich is good. There has been moralities of happiness. Whatever makes you happy, do it. Not always a great survival method. There have been moralities of personal moralities of personal satisfaction, ego gratification, and such. Those are not survival-oriented. That's what this is about. Now, I even go deeper than that because people have asked me. This is based upon moral instincts and real deep premises. Now, you might assume, and a biologist would, I did, that we have instincts of survival. Now, I've been questioned on that, but it was one of the very first things I checked. Are people's moral instinct, or are people's instincts, deepest instincts about survival? Testing it, I found they were. They are deeper than religion. That is what people think about it. It's expressed as creativity and as values. Interestingly, values is how people express their deepest instincts. That's how they express them to me. So, what you, at this point, are trying to do is figure out moral systems. And in a way, this is limited because, I mean, this is vast. This covers everything. And I'm not going to be able to cover everything, and I'm not going to be able to answer everything. So again, this is about a framework of how we can analyze what we're doing, what its consequences are, what its significance is. This is complicated by the fact that one of the distinct features of humans is we seem to occupy a whole lot of niches. You have different castes: priests, kings, peasants, craftsmen, scribes, which still translates into the modern world, and they have different strategies of survival to a large degree. So you're not going to get a universal law. Again, you're creating a structure that can be analyzed. It's a tool. This is what it is. It's another technology. It's a tool of survival. Another complication to this is we have moral systems that were developed largely during the times of the cities. We know them as the religious moralities largely. And they're pretty good, but the world's changing really quickly, largely due to technology. And so our morality is adjusting to this already. And I've got to be able to describe how that's going along. But besides that, I'm trying to describe a new ecology that humans can survive in, and that's going to be another ecology entirely. Now, I don't work too hard to describe that because speculating about the future is questionably valuable, but there are some very interesting things to see that can be seen about the future. Okay, the categories, I mean, as I say, everything falls under morality. So the most important sections are about how we organize ourselves, because human survival is largely based upon cooperation. And so our organization systems like religion, law, government, community, social organization, the family, even things, marriage, even money is an agreement. It's how we organize ourselves. These are big categories. There's the commonest traditional thing of morality about family that relates to marriage, birth, death, raising children, rites of passage, our personal relationships with our families, with our friends, with our co-workers now, with the nations we occupy, our cities still, and even the fellow members of the human race around the planet. Another topic in morality that's very important is institutions. I call them multi-generational behavioral patterns. They are the behaviors that, the needs that go on generation to generation. Education, child raising, industry, art, science, whatever these are that go on, and religion. And what's important for these especially is that their original purpose isn't lost, because sometimes that's what happens to an institution. They sort of get hijacked or for their own survival or for somebody else's purpose. Now, there's a lot of topics you wouldn't expect that are part of survival. Running is a good example. You might not think running is a moral topic, but it was one of our primary hunting methods. It's a great defensive mechanism, and it's one of the special human things. No other animal can run on two legs like this. And we have problems. Your knees can even go out, because that's our high performance ability. So that's an important topic. Music and dance and art. These are topics in morality. Now, it would be nice if we could find a moral law that governed all this, but it's not to be. There's not perfect laws, and that's why we have judges, and they're not perfect judges, so that's why we have laws. But this is to make a framework, because in the future, morality is largely going to have to be something that we judge. So we're going to have need a science of it, a study, a discipline that talks about different strategies of survival, what the results are, and what they offer people. In the long run, survival is going to be about good people trying to make the best of the world and develop it as well as we can. Look, the only thing I've found that's really consistent is that we need to keep a balance. Ideology seems to be one of these really destructive things, but we need a balance between masculine and feminine, between individualism and collectivism, between justice and compassion, between faith and reason, between risk and caution, between newness and conservatism. We need to keep a balance between those things, and a law can't do that. That's going to have to be individual people doing their best to make the world a better place. Now, further on, this will talk about some potentials I see as long-term possibilities for humans, some really incredible potentials. And I'm hoping that this will look like something we should try to achieve, and that we would organize around. And then morality will become more consistent, because we'll have more common goals. But this topic will have many other subtopics added to it later on. Hopefully the next thing will be aspirations. I'll start on aspiration to describe what we might achieve with our moral strategies, what we will consider right and wrong. I hope this was interesting. Thank you very much.